What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block for August 22nd, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, that chocolatey retro code, Edward Varnell.
Hey everybody, it's Nintendo Power Block. Yes, I'm hyped for it.
Oh.
Definitely with the dude. I couldn't wait till today because what you showed me yesterday
my gosh.
what I seen today. We'll talk about it in news.
Yeah, but
hyped.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like yesterday, little behind the scenes for you guys. We recorded Wednesday's Arsenal X on Sunday. And while we were discussing Xbox stuff, I was scrolling through my Facebook feed in this article, which we'll talk about in news later. It's something we talked about earlier this year, but there's more evidence and more news about this specific project. And Ed and I were just like freaking out during Arsenal X, and we were like, if you watch the video, you can see our faces, but we're like not talking about it because we're reading it in a separate window. And it's just like, it's some of the most exciting news. It's exciting for Nintendo and Switch fans and Xenoblade fans. So we'll just leave it at that right now. But man, Ed, this is good. This is it's only Monday, and it's been a really busy week so far. It's
exactly.
Man, I'm trying to fit game time in, and then I'm trying to get all of our other shows scheduled out and figured out and everything, and making sure everybody has what they need for, because I'm leaving on Sunday for vacation, and I'm trying to make sure everybody has what they need to do stuff without me. And man, it's Monday. So
exactly.
Oh man, Ed, how's your week going so far?
Well, everybody, I have just gotten back in town. If you hear World War One podcast, we were doing it live that way. I was out of town with Larry Giver, so I really didn't get time to game or anything. But I spent a lot of time on my 3DS and love that system on the go. I think if I would have had Switch with the time that I was waiting for my train, I think my Switch would have ran out of power. But my 3DS lasted me way longer than a Switch would. So like I said, Dragon Quest 8, I've been playing that. You guys been hearing more about that during past shows. But I started up Project X Zone 2. And it's a lot of reading. I mean, a lot of reading. It's funny, and the way that some of the characters are just like, oh, I know this person, well, I don't know him, and then they just start knowing each other. Like it's so weird. I'm like, how y'all know that y'all been on missions and y'all from two different companies and two different IPs? But it's kind of almost like Fire Emblem in a sense, but the strategies is very basic and very easy to get into. You do have a level up system, and they do teach you on how to attack enemies and stuff. So I just finished maybe like 7 stages already. I got to fight in Makai, which is the like demon world for the Darkstalkers. So Morgan is there, and she's just amazing. I love her. I love Morgan. But I am getting a little bit further in that game, trying to find out what the story is. Like weird, crazy stuff is happening. Even Jill and Chris Redfield is in the game. So wow. It's just like, my goodness, they got so I believe it's Sega, Namco, I believe Tecmo, and Capcom.
Yeah.
In it.
Wow.
So there's a lot of characters from different games and stuff. Phoenix Wright is in there with Maya. And it's a really good game from different worlds. Dot Hack is even in it.
Oh, wow.
I was just like, wow. So, but it's getting really fun. Really digging that game. I'm going to be trying to balance that also with Dragon Quest 8. But other systems, Uncharted, Gears of War 4, DMC, Devil May Cry, probably gonna hop into Titanfall 2. I know they got a new mode. So I do want to try that out. And Gears of War, I want to go back to. But Corey has gotten me into Horizon, and I'm ready to pop that game back in and finish it. So, I know he's been trying to get platinum, get the trophies and stuff. And boss, I support you. Go get those trophies. Yes. But I'm ready to finish the game. Kind of want to do the new story mode for it, and then when I finish Horizon, I'll be jumping back into Final Fantasy 12 HD. But I'm getting ready for Paper Mario Color Splash and Tokyo Mirage Session, and Star Fox Zero. I'm ready to get back into my Wii U and like really finish some Nintendo games.
Yeah. Nintendo games. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I've been playing Horizon kind of nonstop the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. I'm trying really hard to I want to do everything in that game because I think we're going to do a special Nerds Gone Platinum PAL Block crossover to discuss Zelda versus Horizon and kind of talk about what both games can learn from each other and how like each game can learn from each other and evolve in a way that would benefit everyone. Because I think Zelda could learn some things from Horizon, but I think Horizon could take some elements from Zelda as well and like really nail down, like, the cauldrons are cool ideas. Like
yes,
I think they're trying to be dungeons for Zelda, but they're really just kind of linear paths that don't have any like puzzle elements or anything to them. It's just a lot of walking up to things, hitting switches to open a door, and then kill the enemies behind the door, which is fine. But like in the next game, like if they could make a cauldron with Zelda style puzzles in it, and like really really double down on the Zelda aspect of Horizon, like that game could be really different and in a better way if they added puzzles to those cauldrons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that they're a different aesthetic than the open world because you're going into this technological minefield instead of this abandoned wasteland of Earth. You're actually in like a building and stuff, which is cool. But to change it up more, I think they could really take some aspects of what makes Zelda great and apply them to the cauldrons, because I think the cauldrons are some of the most interesting parts of that game in terms of the storytelling, but
yeah,
in terms of just like navigating through it, it's just like it's okay. But
they don't have many of them.
No, there's only like 6 or 7 of them, I think.
Yeah.
But they are nowhere near as long as like old school Zelda dungeons. I would almost say they're not even as long as the Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild. They're pretty small spaces that you navigate. I mean, they're large spaces, but it's really linear, and you can get through them in about 15 minutes, and it's not a Zelda dungeon by any stretch. But like it's a cool idea. I just hope that like the next game they evolve, because you got to remember, this is Guerrilla's first real chance at making something other than Killzone, and they nailed it for the most part. It's a good game. Like, it's a great game, but
definitely agree.
At the same time, like if they can make Aloy control a little bit better,
lose the stupid resource system, and fix the drop rate, because the thing about it is that you need some resources to buy certain equipment.
Yeah, I think that the resource gathering is kind of essential to that game, but they need to make it a little bit easier to get those resources, because I find myself trying to sell stuff all the time and like trying to find the resources that I need, and I'm buying them instead of finding them in the open world. And it's not like I'm fast traveling from campfire to campfire. I'm traveling through the world I'm going out of my way to kill the robots to get these resources, and I'm not getting the ones that I need, and it's kind of frustrating at points.
And yeah, that fast travel needs to be fixed too. You gotta buy a piece, you gotta buy something to do fast travel. I'm like, that sucks. I'm like,
well,
here we are.
You get an infinite one later that I think they patched in afterwards, like it's just an infinite travel one, and I think that they're going to address that in the second game. If they don't, that would be a huge oversight because they already patched in a step to, take that away. That you can buy a infinite fast travel thing for like, I don't know, 1,000 metal shards. But yeah, I do agree. I think it was a little bit ridiculous that you limited your fast travel by having to purchase these fast travel packs, and it's like,
right.
That's kind of obnoxious. But I mean, they did patch that in, and then I ended up, the first thing I did was buy the infinite fast travel pack.
One.
Yeah.
Then I gotta try to buy one. I know for me, what I really liked about it was taking over the towers and then the villagers come in. I like kind of that stealth in hunting. So when they used to come into the grass, I would just be able to kill them easy or just headshot them real quick. And I think there's one mission, one of them, I did everything with them not even seeing me, just like killing them stealthily. I could see. I can't wait for Horizon 2, and I think that's going to probably be within 3 years that they'll announce it.
Yeah, I think I honestly think it actually might be a PS4 or a PS5 launch title if they do end up making another console. Like, I think that's going to be a game that they launch with the system to try to sell it. I think it's too late in the life cycle right now to get another one unless they get it out in 2 years, which I doubt because I think, they God of War is too similar of a game, like visually right now. It's too similar of a game. Days Gone, they want to push, and it looks to be similar-ish, open world action RPG style thing, and then you got Death Stranding coming. You have, I think Sony has too many options on its plate to push a sequel for Horizon in the next few years. So I see Horizon 2 really being a launch title for their next console.
Then, in the meantime, I think give Guerrilla Games the order. I think give them the sequel to do it. To fill in. I think to fill in like the when the life cycle of the PlayStation 4 is about to end, I say it is kind of like take the problems and fix it and then release it so that when PlayStation 5 come out they'll have Horizon 2 ready to go, because I know that PlayStation 5 is too far ahead for them to be working on part 2 to have that ready for a launch title.
Yeah. But anyways, Horizon is, if you own a PS4, I think Horizon is one of maybe 3 must-have exclusives for PS4 right now. I think it's that good. I think it's the game to sell PS4 right now.
Yes.
It is Sony's flagship game. I'm sorry. Like in my mind, Horizon is Sony's flagship game. The other 2 exclusives, I would say, like in terms of big retail boxed copies, I really liked Infamous Second Son. I think that game is severely underrated, and I didn't play Infamous 1 or 2, but I really liked Second Son a lot, and I know First Light was really good too. And I think that's just a $20 expansion.
Yeah.
And Bloodborne, I think, are the 3 games that are the must-haves for Sony.
You know what? Horizon, I agree with you. I still think Uncharted 4 and I still think The Last Guardian are the 3 games on the PlayStation 4. I don't think Bloodborne is.
See, if somebody's gonna say like, yeah, I still can't back Uncharted 4 as like something that I would recommend to somebody. If you're gonna get a game like that, I would say Rise of the Tomb Raider at this point.
Well, yeah, but Uncharted 4 graphically looks more impressive than Horizon. Horizon looks good, but Horizon doesn't do enough with its color palette.
Yeah.
You know, you have the oranges, but you have orange in that earth tone, and the only other color that you're gonna have is maybe night, which looks
Yeah,
fine.
I do
But
agree with you. It kind of gives, unless you're in like one of the cauldrons, which have that
yeah,
blue black aesthetic. Like it kind of had. Remember how everybody was complaining when Gears 1 and 2 came out that color palette was too brown and too dark and didn't have
yeah,
enough vibrant colors. I, to an extent, I kind of feel that way about Horizon, but not. It's not Gears of War bad, but I do agree that there's a lot of brown, there's a lot of earth tones, which, you know, it's part of the world they're building. I think, but at the same time, there's like, I think they could do with some, you know, bright purples and blues and yellows. Like there's colors out there that they are not using, and like if you're going for this old, like, you know, that it's the future obviously, but they're relying on old customs, like, you know, the societies are relying on old customs. Like, why not go explore like a Roman route and go, hey, purple is regal, like the kings or the sitting kings of these societies wear purple to show that they're regal or part of the regal guard, you know, like, I don't know, I agree with you that the aesthetic, I hope they use some new colors and stuff, but
yeah. I mean, I would say Horizon sells PlayStation Pro, PS4 Pro. I think it sells that. Uncharted does more than Bloodborne, and also with its color palette and some scenes and stuff. So that's why I mean, I have to give it to Naughty Dog for the background, that environment, that it looks beautiful. It really does, and it doesn't stutter or anything. I think Bloodborne just looks dead and dated. And
yeah, Bloodborne looks really dated, especially like I've been playing it on my Pro, and I even have it running in boost mode to help it allows the frame rate to catch up, but like even then, like you look at it and like that game is definitely an early PS4 game. It is dated. Like, I mean, it's not their fault. It's just an older game that didn't take a lot of advantage of the hardware. You know, they were making the game they were trying to make, and that's cool. But like, you can definitely see the way Sony's first party studios use the system and the way like second and third parties use it. Like, Uncharted is super impressive, and I'm excited because Lost Legacy comes out tomorrow, and I'm actually really excited. You know, Giant Bomb wrote a review, and they were showing it off and talking about it and stuff. And actually, this is the first Uncharted game I'm excited for since 2, to be honest with you. I think it's cool that they're exploring Chloe and Nadine, even though a lot of people don't like Nadine for some reason. I don't know.
I didn't have no problem with it.
I didn't have a problem with her, but people are like hate Nadine. I'm like, why? There's no issue with Nadine. She's fine.
Trust us, everybody. We're gonna get back to Nintendo. This is not Nerds Going Platinum, but we got to talk about this because I feel like this is an interesting conversation.
But in terms of exclusives and stuff, like, I've to get it back to exclusives for Sony. Like, I still think like Horizon is kind of it in terms of like 9 pluses for me in terms of Sony exclusives. Like, Nintendo for Switch already, for me at least, already has 3 9 pluses for me. You know, they have Zelda, Mario Kart 8. Yes, you could argue that those are already on Wii U and they're just ports. That's fine. Splatoon 2. Like, those are the 3 9 pluses, and like ARMS is like an 8 plus for me.
I probably would add maybe even 2 more. Like, that graceful explosion machine is addictive.
Yeah,
literally addictive. And Thumper is good too. I enjoyed Thumper. But everybody's playing Sonic Mania on Switch, and yeah, you could get that on PS4. But all I'm seeing, like on my Twitter feed, Switch for Sonic Mania. So if Sega is making, and even Puyo Puyo Tetris was a must-have that people were buying on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm like,
I bought I bought Puyo Puyo Tetris twice because I bought the physical copy, and I'm like, I'm not gonna keep switching discs or switching carts every time I want to play Tetris. So I just ended up buying it digitally too. To be honest with you, like I want it there all the time, and it's so easy to just be like, okay, I'm tapped. Like I always forget Switch has a touchscreen, but like I tap the Puyo Puyo Tetris thing, launch right in, and right there, Tetris. I touch Tetris, and I'm in Tetris. It's just like Tetris is like one of the best games of all time. It's so perfect.
Puzzle games, yes. Puzzle games, I do agree. But it has competition because Puzzle Fighter, I hold over Tetris.
Yeah, get that out of here. Weak.
What?
Weak sauce.
No.
You heard me.
What?
That sauce is weak, Ed. Get it out.
No, it's not. It's the Big Mac sauce.
No. Thousand Island dressing you cannot pass off as special sauce. Okay?
You just say that.
I don't know what it is. You know how long it's been since I've had a Big Mac? I don't know I don't even know. I don't even remember the last time I was at McDonald's, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I did tell you to. I'm like, go stop at McDonald's to get a milkshake or something because you was leaving Brian's.
Yeah. I ended up going. There's I don't know if these are around you, but people in the Ohio or Pennsylvania area will know Sheetz.
No, we don't have it.
It's a gas station, but inside you can go in and like they have like a touchscreen there, and you can order food and milkshakes and coffee and stuff, and it's like a convenience store. It's like a nice convenience store. It's like the Target version of convenience stores, where like, you know, it's a little bit nicer than your typical gas station, but it's still like a convenience store, you know. So
is it? Because sometimes we have some in Wisconsin, but it's like for truck stops.
Yeah, that's there's down south. There's like Wawa down south. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, and yeah, it's kind of like that. It's
kind of like that. Okay.
Yeah, you can go in, sit down. Ours by the one by where I work has a drive-through, and like the drive-through has the touch screen on it, so you don't have to talk to anybody. It's really nice. It's great.
Oh, nice. Yeah, see, we don't have any truck stops, shops like that. We only have like basic kind of gas stations. We have to go to Wisconsin to do anything like that.
Yeah.
So
it's oh man, but yeah. Anyways, Nintendo.
Woo, yes.
But let's see what else. I was playing. I played Sonic Mania. Yeah. Now rounding it back to Nintendo after 20 minutes of talking about Sony exclusives and stuff. Sonic Mania is definitely a Genesis style Sonic game. It is fast. It's annoying when you're going really fast and they just throw the random enemy in front of you.
Hate that.
I like the pure I can just play as Sonic mode. You know, I really do like that. Sonic 1 is my favorite Sega game. I will throw that out there in terms of games you could play on Genesis besides the Turtles in Time ripoff, which was Hyperstone Heist. It was the same game as Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo, but there's a couple extra levels, and there's a boss rush mode, and instead of Super Shredder, it was Ultra Shredder. But it was essentially the same game. Okay, gosh, that game was so good. Can we just get like the 16-bit Ninja Turtle games on Switch at some point in widescreen and like comic mode and just I was talking about Ninja Turtles earlier today with somebody. Who was I talking about? Oh, we were talking about the original Ninja Turtles on NGR. Next week's NGR Radio, we talked about games that we kind of wanted revived and what developer we wanted it from, and I was talking about Ninja Turtles. And remember when Rocksteady was rumored to be working on the Ninja Turtles game that was similar to Arkham Asylum?
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. But
But Platinum did it because I guess Activision had the rights to it.
Stupid Activision. I'm sorry. Activision is.
Well, you want to know who I would have picked for it? I literally would have went the way for it. I could see way for it doing the arcade style Ninja Turtles again.
Yeah. I could. That would be cool. That would be awesome if Way Forward did like a $20 side-scrolling brawler, or even like a $30 like brawler with RPG elements where you could like pump stats into different things and like make like you could do like, I don't know. I think it would be cool if somebody took that brawler like format, made it maybe made it multiplayer, like maybe not. I don't know. Or like even made it like a gauntlet style thing where like each run you make, you level your turtles up a different way, and like, you know, you take them through like a 2 or 3 hour campaign and just level them up how you want after each level. Put points into like strength, speed, you know, you get an aerial attack. Maybe your special move where you hit A and B at the same time doesn't take as much health away. You know, that kind of stuff. And like just put that in the brawler formula. Oh man, look what I did. Game Doc, sign up. You got anybody listening who owns the Ninja Turtles license? You can have that one for free. I think you should charge $30 for it. Maybe a 3-hour campaign, co-op, save states. Yeah.
I would make it 6 hour. I'll make it 5 or 6 hour.
Yeah. I mean, I would just.
Because the only reason why is that playing the Ninja Turtle game will only take you an hour if you're playing the old ones.
An hour? How bad are you? It would take you like 40 minutes. Jeez, Ed.
Well, it actually depends on what it actually depends on what difficulty and what turtle you're playing.
Get good, Ed.
I'm
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Now, if you're playing that old Ubisoft one, Turtles in Time, that came from 360, then 40 minutes.
No. Do not. Nobody play that game. Sorry. Nobody play that game.
Yeah.
That game was bad, dude. I'm sorry. That game was bad. The Turtles in Time remake was bad.
Yes.
And I know it was based off the arcade version and not the Super Nintendo version, which is fine, but it was still bad. So.
Bad dudes.
No, we don't need another bad dudes. Anyways, back to Sonic. Sonic's really good. I wouldn't be expecting anything super different than the Genesis games, except for the fact that they doubled down on the Genesis aspect of it and just made it work and made it flow really well. And they built the engine from the ground up to feel like the Genesis games, but they added the extra, I think they said like 15 frames a second to each animation, and like the extra animations that Sonic does makes it flow better. And it's just like, it's really cool. And like the boss designs are cool. I'm not going to give anything away. But there's 2 really cool bosses I fought so far. Hope your puzzle skills are up to snuff. That's all I can say about one of them.
Yeah.
But Sonic Mania is really good, and especially if you're a fan of the old Sonic games, like it's super good. I got my Sonic buddy right here. He's gonna chill on my desk from now on. My it doesn't say Sega though. Like my button is broken, which I'm really upset about, but it's okay. It's not like I'm just going to keep pressing it. But Sonic Mania is really good. I'm really impressed, and it plays well on Switch. It feels at home in handheld mode. Like, these are the types of games that I would love to see Nintendo do at some point. You know, a Super Mario World Mania where like they'll include the original game, but you can go back in and play remix levels, or, you know, and I know that's what Mario Maker kind of is, but like, I would love to see them just maybe take a little bit of time and like remaster some of these games and make them widescreen and add the extra frames of animation and just do some stuff. But like this game, a lot of heart in this game. I like it.
Sure, they'll probably put it in the Paper Mario art form.
I mean, Yeah. I want some of those old school Mario games though. Like I want, like, even if they just redid the All Stars versions of the games and like, because like the 16-bit Mario 3 looks really good and Mario 2 look really good. Oh man, these games are good. But anyways, Ed, we're gonna get into some of this news. Do we want to save the biggest story first or last? Do we want to save it for last? Do we want to keep everybody guessing?
Let's keep everybody guessing.
Okay. So, first story. Batman the Enemy Within Telltale series has been listed for Switch by several retailers, including Amazon, GameStop, Best Buy, and Target. The Telltale game features a story-driven Batman point-and-click graphic novel, which was released earlier this month on several platforms. The Telltale Batman games have been rumored to be running on Switch for a while now, and it's pretty clear what Batman game we'll be getting. It's already on PS4, Xbox One, PC, iPhone, Android, and this one is listed for an October 17th release date, which is also the same date as Axiom Verge, by the way, for you Switch owners.
Nice.
So pretty solid, pretty solid. I've been telling you, Ed. I'm like, there's two games I would love to play on Switch, and one was this, and one was Guardians of the Galaxy. I think those I would like to play those on Switch, and we're getting it, and we're getting this one. I'm a little sad we're not getting the first one though, just because like the story is a continuation of the first season, and your stuff does carry over. So maybe there'll be like a bundle, like the Revelations bundle for Switch, which would be really cool. But anyways, yeah, Batman looks like it's coming to Switch, so I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I am too.
I still need to finish that first season.
Oh, the first season is good. I am waiting for two for Xbox One. I'm waiting for all the episodes to come out because that's how I want to play it. But definitely for Switch, I'll definitely have one by then, and I definitely will be picking up because it's going to be a great game to play on the go.
Yeah, definitely, especially if you're like on an airplane and you like, you don't really want to watch the in-flight movie or whatever, and or like a train ride or something, and you need something to pass the time. Like an episode of this would be perfect. It doesn't take a lot of energy or thought. I mean, when we flew to Florida, like I played my Switch, and I would have loved to have something like this to play, even though I was still playing Zelda, and Zelda's amazing. But but yeah, Batman looks like it's coming to Switch. Also coming to Switch, EA revealed that they are releasing a second game for Switch, and it's the game that I'm more interested in. Remember the
what could it be?
Remember the EA Originals title Fee that they announced? What, 2 years ago at this point?
2 years ago, yes.
Yeah, it is coming to Switch now from Swedish studio Zoink Games. Will be released in early 2018 on Switch as well as the other platforms. This game looks way better than it did when they revealed it. Did you watch the new trailer?
No, I didn't even get to see the Electronic Arts conference.
This trailer was so good. Hold on, I gotta mute the audio so it doesn't come through on the podcast. But this game looks freaking adorable. The artwork looks amazing. The art direction is just it looks like if Horizon had a No Man's Sky art design.
Mm-hmm.
But like you get to like walk around at these different creatures and stuff. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Anybody who's interested in an adventure game for Switch, like a real action adventure game, watch this trailer right now. I had no interest in this game before today, and now I'm watching this trailer, and it's like at the top of my list of third-party games I want on Switch.
Well, I know for me, it looked very interesting at E3, but I was kind of disappointed that EA didn't really show more of it last year at E3, and like they kind of went silent. So, but but it looked like they probably was working on new visuals and probably expanded the game and, probably getting performances of it better. Hopefully there is an interview that comes out and he tells why it took long. But yeah, I agree with you, Corey. It looks very beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna be no less than good. I think it's gonna be better than Unraveled, their first kind of foray into the EA Originals thing with Yarny.
Yes,
Fee looks good. I'm excited. All right, Ed. ARMS, the Japanese ARMS Twitter page has teased a new fighter set to join the game in probably the free update coming at the beginning of the month. They've already announced that all content and fighters are all going to be free for this game for the next year, and people have recently unearthed a leak showing that there are at least 9 unannounced fighters, and this would be one of them. One to coincide for every month for the rest of the free DLC period. So I'm pretty pumped. I think ARMS, even though it sold well, I still feel like it's one of Nintendo's stronger new IPs in recent years. It's really good. It's a really strong fighting game. I really like ARMS, and if I had more time, like, I would definitely be playing ARMS just as much as everything else I play on Switch. It is really good. I actually think I like ARMS more than Splatoon, to be honest with you.
Really?
Even though I love Splatoon, I've played it before. It's Splatoon, right? It's you play the maps, you cover the maps, and you customize your character. And even though it's got deep customization mechanics this time around, like, there's something about ARMS, man, that's super charming and super fun. And I like ARMS a lot. It's like a fighting game I can really get into.
Yeah, when I tried the demo of it, I was kind of hooked. I'm like, yeah, this is a game that I definitely got to learn. It looks really good.
That was really scary, Ed. The game room door just opened by itself. There's a ghost.
Oh, wow.
There's a ghost in here.
Oh no.
That was really creepy, dude. It was shut like all the way. Now it's open like this far.
Wow.
Okay. Anyways, back to the show. If something happens, Ed. Oh no. Okay. Sorry if you just saw the video go haywire. Wow. Okay. Yeah, ARMS. I can't wait to see what this new character looks like. Maybe they'll reveal it in one of the new. I think by the time everybody sees this video or listens to this show, Nintendo will have had at least one of their live streams for probably Mario Odyssey first. I think is the first one. So maybe they'll have announced something by then, but like, I can't wait to see what this new fighter looks like, because Max Brass was the first DLC fighter that they announced, and he was cool. Like, he's this big, huge, like, tanky character. He's really slow, but he can pack a punch. No pun intended.
Yes.
Okay, pun intended. But yeah, ARMS is really good. I can't wait for you to come up here, Ed, and we'll do a Let's Pod and Play of ARMS. It's gonna be great.
Yes.
It's gonna be awesome. So, the last kind of bigger news story before we get to kind of like, I feel like the last news story is just going to kind of be our topic of the show, but
okay.
Remember the PlayStation Classic Fear Effect?
Of course, yes.
And Square Enix licensed the game out to a company who was doing the Kickstarter to do a strategy version of Fear Effect, which is still due out sometime next year. Sushi, development studio who started their Kickstarter for where's the name of the Fear Effect game they're developing? Fear Effect Sedna has signed on with Square Enix to remaster the original Fear Effect, called Fear Effect Reinvented. this game will take the original game, which was released on PlayStation in 2000, give it a fresh coat of paint, remaster some of the mechanics, and deliver the game how everybody remembers it from the year 2000. Interesting.
Yes.
This game, I'm not going to lie, I was at the right age at the right time for this game, and the marketing around this game was very, we'll say, persuasive with its female leads, and they were very friendly with each other. We'll just put it that way. You know, that was kind of like the whole marketing thing. I wonder if they're going to clean up that persona that this game kind of has surrounding it, and kind of like give it more, not that the game itself is going to change, but maybe push it more towards what Tomb Raider became in terms of the graphics, instead of, you know, that old school thing. The one thing that this game really introduced, though, what it was really known for, it was one of the first major titles to introduce cell shading, which wasn't really popular at the time. I remember it was Fear Effect, Cell Damage, and Fur Fighters.
Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, I think Jet Set Radio came out after this, though. But those three games were like the first major games to like really experiment with cell shading, and then Jet Set just went off the walls with their cell shading, which I would love a remastered Jet Set Radio for Switch. Just saying.
Then Wind Waker snatched all the crowns.
Yeah.
Because people who was watching it thought that it was a cartoon.
Yeah, because then Nintendo's like, oh, that's cute. We can do it right. And then they just went off and did it. So
I'm not going to play Wind Waker in everybody's household.
Yeah, I know, right? And Wind Waker, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I wanted that Zelda game they showed off in the tech demo at Space World or E3 that year.
For GameCube?
Yeah, they showed Luigi's Mansion, Metroid, and Zelda, and I'm like, and Mario 128. Remember when Mario 128 was a thing?
Yes.
Oh, man, I would love if they just came out and said, hey, we're making Super Mario 128, and it is a direct sequel to Mario 64, and, oh, man, that would be great.
But that came out to be Mario Sunshine.
Yeah. Actually, I think the tech behind Mario 128 ended up being Pikmin, because they were experimenting with lots of characters on screen at one time, and that ended up being Pikmin. So, fun fact for everybody that's listening. So that was interesting.
Yes.
Sorry, I am so hyped. I need to keep it going.
Well, before we actually get to that, Corey, before we get to our last topic, everybody, Magic Design Studios, who are attending Gamescom, just announced Unruly Heroes. It is a 2D game enriched by combat and other surprises. And these the kind of been influenced by A Journey to the West, kind of known as the Monkey King. And this French company has team members who previously worked on Ubisoft titles such as Rayman Rabbids and Assassin's Creed. So you guys can check it out. With local co-op 4 to 4 players, there's a lot of worlds to discover. The artwork is bananas. It looks so
Bananas.
Yes.
Sorry.
It looks really good. This is like literally on my radar. I love 2D beat 'em ups. I love the combat. They got one part, this dude, he hit an enemy and then grabbed it by the tail and did the Looney Tunes back and forth kind of whap whap. I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely for me. And last but not least, for my little special news before we get to our main topic, Pixel Perfect, they came and talked about a game, Earth Atlantis. They say that it's about 96% done. But man, this game looks like really cool. It looks like hand drawn black and white 2D shooter. So you guys can check that out. It was a 2017 Bit Summit winner. So you guys can check that out. These two stories are on Nintendo Life. So if you guys want to see more, go to that website, check them out, give them a good read. But Corey, what is the big news that's like got us all kind of crazy?
Oh my gosh, man. Let me tell you. Okay, so if you guys remember, maybe a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, we talked about Monolith Soft and how it had come out that they were working on a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X. They kind of teased some things, and they were hiring for that project in terms of like an online action heavy type position. So
Yes.
it came out on August 20th that Xenoblade developer Monolith Soft recruiting for ambitious new project for Nintendo Switch. Xenoblade developer Monolith Soft is looking to hire a wave of new staffers as it shifts gears to a new project. On its newly refreshed website, the company says it's planning an ambitious project different from Monolith's brand image. Monolith is recruiting staff who can take on the challenge with them of releasing a title for a global market. Monolith is hiring for the following positions: designers, character modeler, map modeler, in-game animator, technical artist, main character designer, concept artist, programmer, character control programmer, for action, system and framework programmer for action, planner for action, management support, project manager, specifically keyed towards online components and action RPGs. And then it shows three or four images of concept art that they plan for their project, and it looks like they are aiming for an online action RPG, probably similar to the first Phantasy Star. Was the first thing that crossed my mind, was like, maybe not an MMO, but a game similar maybe to Monster Hunter 2, where like you can have up to 2 or 3 friends join you in the same party. You guys go out and fight monsters together in an open world, go complete missions together, stuff like that.
It looked like I'm assuming that it's going to be class based also, because it looked like the different environments and the people that was there, they were by themselves. But I'm just like, this looks like this going to probably have some class based combat to it.
Yeah.
Do everybody check out that artwork? Oh, that artwork is amazing, like really good. It has kind of like a watercolor aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, it's man, it looks pretty. It's the concept art, like you said, is kind of like a watercolor, really vast environment. The one picture shows a girl in a red hood staring down at what looks like a city in a valley, and these two just cliff and a big mountain in the background overlooking an ocean. Man, this game sounds ambitious for a Nintendo title. It wouldn't be anything if this game was coming out on Xbox or PlayStation. Like those games exist on those platforms all the time, and Nintendo isn't really known for their online stuff. In terms of like an MMO or anything. I guess Dragon Quest X exists overseas, but this is like the positions they're hiring for are very specific for an action RPG. And like there's this one where it looks like a knight in a red cape is looking up at a giant church with like this angel statue. Almost looks Dark Souls-y. Like if you showed me an image of this, I would have said, "Oh, that looks like Dark Souls." Just from the concept art. But then you scroll down the page, and it's got the watercolor, very colorful, very lots of blues and reds and pinks, kind of like what we were talking about. Maybe Horizon can incorporate into their next game. Like, it looks awesome. Like this concept looks awesome. The hero, or I think it might be a female with the sword and the cape flowing over the sword, and she's unsheathing the sword, and it looks like she's about ready to go into battle, and there's all these flags flying around. I mean, we talk awfully highly about Monolith on the show, and we talk awfully highly on Xenoblade, especially Xenoblade X, and how big that world looked. And, like, you know, we talk a lot about Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and how that game looks like it should not be running on this hardware. You know, it's got that, like, even though the characters look very kind of cel-shaded and cartoony, the world itself looks very real. Like the grass flowing, the mountains. Like, you saw the monster. You remember that first trailer? It looked like a mountain in the background, and we watched it again, and it was actually a monster moving across the background of the world. And then, like, you go up into the sky, and it's like the city in the sky, and then that giant flying monster going through the title screen. Like, these are massive assets that don't look like they should be running on the Nintendo Switch hardware, but they are.
Yes. Like, we had to re-look at that trailer, like, many times, and I'm probably going to even do it even after the show. Because, goodness, Monolith Soft is known for a lot of their RPGs, and plus with them working on the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So I think Breath of the Wild has inspired them, and they're probably going to be taking some things from it to make that kind of game, that open world MMO style game.
Mm-hmm. And they know. I mean, Monolith knows their way around how to build an open world. Granted, they helped Nintendo build Breath of the Wild's open world. Like, they know how to do it. And, like, oh man, if they can just do another awesome big game for Switch, and oh man, like, if Monolith puts 3 games on Switch, because I think what started the conversation was there was a quote that they were going to try to port Xenoblade X over after they were done with 2, which would be awesome, because I would love that. And then that spawned the conversation. The next episode, that an article came out that said they were looking to maybe make a direct sequel to X, and now we're seeing more of that, and it's just I
would love for them to fix some things in X and then bring it over to Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I would love to play X on the go, and, like, I know we're getting to, but I think the Xenoblade proper series and Xenoblade X and whatever that series is going to be are really 2 distinct series. They're 2 separate series that just happen to take place in the same world. You know, I would love to see X make its way over. It's so good. Because, like, I feel like X is more about the world and, like, you hunting things in the world, whereas Xenoblade 1 and probably Xenoblade 2 are more about the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah, and, you know, with a lot of his side quests and stuff, it's just so amazing to look at, though. Mm-hmm. Just like, how in the heck did you guys make a game like this? Like, and running at 30 frames. I don't want to say 60 frames, but running at 30, running at a smooth 30 frames per second. Like, the frame rate is just smooth.
Yeah, it's man, dude, I
know.
This is great radio, me just making random sound effects, but that's how excited I am. I think Monolith is one of the most underrated developers out there. Like, you know, you talk about underrated developers, and Monolith isn't even brought up when you're talking about that. You know, it's insane that they are not talked about more. And, you know, they've done some good stuff, you know, when they spun out and formed Monolith. Even before that, you know, when they were doing games for Square, and they were doing Xenogears, and then they spun off for Namco, and then they did Xenoblade. Xenosaga. They did Xenosaga for PS2, and then they Namco sold them to Nintendo, and then they made Xenoblade. Like, man, they've just done some really awesome work. And, like, you know, you go back and play those PS2 games, like, they're little cutscene heavy, and I mean that's when people were really experimenting with cutscenes and seeing how they would work in a game. And I get that it's a time and place thing, but back then, like those were epic RPGs, man.
Yes, they were.
And that was the first time that you could really like, a lot of people give credit to Mass Effect for being one of the first RPGs to really have things matter and carry over. But if you remember Xenoblade Saga, like, I'm pretty sure, like, Xenosaga 2 read your save from Xenosaga 1 and determined, like, at least determined some stats for your characters and how the story was going to unfold.
Uh-huh.
And, that was planned to be, like, a 6-episode thing, and it only ended up being 3, but which really made the third game feel rushed because they were trying to tie up a lot of loose ends that weren't supposed to be done for like 2 games. But that series was a massive thing for PS2, and I would really like to see those games get remastered at some point.
Well, I would love to see Xenogears get remastered. Like, I want to play the first one.
Yeah, well, like Xenogears had the same problem, right? It was this big epic RPG, and there was going to be a couple sequels to that. And then they looked at the numbers and thought, well, I don't think we're going to be able to make another game in this series because Final Fantasy VII is super popular. Everybody's looking at Final Fantasy for PS1 now. And then I think Chrono Cross was coming out soon after that, which, like, a sequel to Chrono Trigger at the time was probably people were really looking forward to that. And so, like, Xenogears, the end of Xenogears felt really rushed as well. It felt like there could have been like 40 more hours of RPG wrapped up in that last half hour.
I think they ran out of time and they ran out of budget, so they had to finish it up.
Yeah, which is sad. And like it really, like, playing Xenoblade Chronicles for Wii and what I played of X, I didn't finish it because that game is just way too long. Like that is Nintendo's Skyrim right there. You can say Breath of the Wild is Nintendo's Skyrim all you want. Xenoblade X is Nintendo's Skyrim. Like, you can go do whatever you want. You can go fight giant monsters 200 hours into the game, and they will still whoop your butt. Like, those things, like, it's like 25 hours before you even get your mech.
Right.
And then you have to relearn the game.
And then you have to take care of your mech, because if your mech dies, you kind of got to rebuild it, and that's more resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, yeah, man, it's, I'm really intrigued by what they're hiring for.
I'm super stoked, because even if they do get the team and they actually make something, we got 2018 E3. That is going to be an expectation for me. Come on, Monolith Soft. You guys don't know Nintendo Direct. Give me straight E3. Save it for E3.
Yeah, definitely. And I think maybe it's going to be a while before we hear about this game. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to use the Xenoblade Chronicles X engine. Like, they already have an engine. So they could possibly pump this game out in 2 or 3 years. Because they pumped Xenoblade. They're pumping Xenoblade 2 out, 2 years after Xenoblade X? 2 years or 3?
2 years.
Yeah. Plus, they help with the development of Breath of the Wild. Like, they work fast. For especially for a Japanese company, like, they work pretty fast, and I'm excited to see. Maybe like 2 years we'll hear something.
Yeah, probably. We'll probably see something. Hopefully next year. By that following year, we just find out some new stuff, like maybe a cage, maybe a story or a trailer. We find something about it. But yeah, I'll give it 2 or 3 years that we actually learn what the game is in the final title.
Yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what this game is, because they are one of the, I would say, one of Nintendo's better development studios, and man, yes.
But
Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap up this episode? I mean,
No.
we could always talk for hours about Nintendo, but
Right.
this is a podcast, and we understand we don't want to take up all of your time, but
We
yeah.
love you guys.
I know we love you guys. Plus, we've got a lot to work on this week, Ed. We've got, man. See, with me going on vacation, Ed and I are still recording next week's Monday or Tuesday and Friday episodes, but we are recording them in advance, so we're doing double duty this week for Nintendo.
Yes,
so.
we are.
Not that
Yes.
not that I can't always talk about Nintendo, but we are working on some things. We're going to be taking your questions later this week for all listener questions, since we haven't really gotten to a question block in a while.
Yes.
And then
we do have a Nintendo 64 episode list to make.
Yeah.
So, get your list together. Let's get because
you know what else
we
I want
got-
to talk about that episode too, and it'll probably be a topic that we'll talk about after we name our list of games. I want to talk about if Nintendo will have the balls to make a deal with Microsoft to get some of those rare games.
Oh yes.
I want to see if they will do that, or if they'll make a deal with Disney to get Rogue Squadron, or something like that. Like I want to talk about if Nintendo is willing to make the deals, even if the N64 is $100, or $120 with 4 controllers. Like I want to know if they're going to go make those deals.
Disney would be easier because of that 3DS that 3DS game that came out, that Nintendo published, that Disney kind of art game.
Oh,
for 3DS.
The art studio,
that art studio, and then it was like
Art Academy, Disney Art Academy is what it was.
that one, and then there was one where you were able to go to the kingdom, the Magic Kingdom,
Right.
and explore all around it.
Right.
So, like, Nintendo got some good stuff with Disney. So
Mhm.
that Star Wars Rogue Squadron or whatever,
Yeah.
that shouldn't be too hard.
I wouldn't.
Rare
wouldn't-
those. but-
I'm more interested in the rare Microsoft deal. GameCube is where I would really want them to make that deal with Disney and get Rogue Squadron 2 on there.
Oh yeah.
Because that game was the reason I bought a GameCube at launch. I mean, like, I was going to buy a GameCube at launch anyway, because it's Nintendo. But, that game... I think the 3 games I bought at launch were Luigi's Mansion, Tony Hawk 3, and Rogue Squadron. Were the 3 games.
Well, and I wonder what would EA say about it.
Mm-hmm.
But Disney has the final say, so EA can't say nothing about it. Disney has the final say.
Yeah, I know EA has a license on new Star Wars games, but this is just a re-release type situation. So
Yeah.
But I do wonder who was the development studio? Factor 5 behind?
Factor 5. Yeah.
I wonder if they have any rights still in there somewhere because they developed the game. But I mean, that's something we could talk about on that episode. But anyways, I think that's gonna wrap our show. Ed, I'm super excited because I get to be at the Nintendo World Store in a week. I'm gonna buy one of those stupid Rabbids. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna set my Luigi Rabbid right next to my Sonic statue. This is gonna be like the desk of awful toys. Not that Sonic's awful, are you, buddy? You just had a bad run till now. Sonic Mania is good. Sonic Forces doesn't look great, but anyways. This is Nintendo Power Block. You can find Nintendo Power Block every Tuesday and Friday at 10 a.m. on our YouTube page. Like, subscribe, and share there. Or if you can take us with you on your podcast service of choice. Power Block is now on Stitcher. So I'm proud to say that we are now on Stitcher. The NGR, you have to search for NGR Radio on Stitcher, but Stitcher now allows one entity to have multiple podcasts. So I'm working on getting Arsenal X and Nerds Gone Platinum out there as well. I'm waiting you can only submit another podcast like one at a time until it's approved. Then you can do the next one. I'm working on getting those ones up there as well. But now under the NGR Radio, I guess, station on Stitcher, you can find Power Block there now too. So really,
I was looking at Stitcher for Optional Opinion, and I didn't jump the gun yet.
You should, because a lot of people actually listen to, at least they listen to NGR on Stitcher. I know Todd Oxtra uses Stitcher for his podcasts.
Okay.
So, anyways, Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @RetroCode. You can hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, the Anomalous Radio Network.podbean.com, and other of your favorite podcast apps that you guys can find. Check me out on World 11 Podcast, Arsenal X, our Xbox podcast, and more of Nintendo Power Block, our Nintendo podcast, of course, and our Let's Playing pod that me and Corey do with other guests. You guys can check that out. Also, I have some writing up on, I have a new blog up on ngrradio.com, so you guys can check that out. You guys can read Skirmish Frogs. I have a series called The Moment, so at skirmishfrogs.com, and also Optional Opinion blogs on IGN.com under Anime, ENIME. Check out my Twitch page, the lyrical one, for Let's Learn. And if you guys want to friend me on Nintendo, right now I don't have a Switch, so I can't give you that number out just yet. But if you still got a Wii U, Optional Opinion, big letters, all one word. And I'm sorry everybody, I will be posting my 3DS code if you guys need it. Check out the Nintendo Power Block Facebook page. It will be up there, so you guys can check it out by the time this episode drops.
Yes. You can find me on NGR Radio every Monday at 10, Arsenal X with Ed, World 11. Let's see.
And with Jesse, everybody.
Yeah, Jesse. 6. Yeah. You can find me at CoreyNHD on Instagram. You can find me at CoreyNHD on Twitch. Thanks to Larry, you can find me at CoreyNUHD on Twitter. Because somebody already has CoreyNHD. Jerk. I'm just kidding. I'm sure he's a nice fellow, but he's only tweeted 3 times in the last 7 years, and I want that Twitter handle. You can find all of our content on ngrradio.com. I will be writing a bunch of reviews and stuff. Finally, when I'm on vacation, I'm excited. You can. I don't know if they're going to be reviews or more of just opinion pieces, but you can find them. I finished my Zelda one. I'm just waiting to post it because I want to post it with my Horizon, because I think I want to do a comparison piece and have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday release of that content, because I want to compare them and how they will forever be intertwined. But yeah, yes. Look forward to that stuff. I will also be reviewing Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle while I'm on vacation, because I will be getting that game.
Yes. And I will be picking up the Uncharted, but I can't due to something that came up. I won't be able to get it this week, but I am going to try to pick it up next week, so you guys will be able to check out that review. I'm going to try to do my best to power through it and get it up there. And everybody also check out Jesse's Bright review of Hellblade. He really spent a lot of great time writing that. It's really, really good. So I do. It's one of
the best reviews on the site right now. Honestly, I've read it twice. I've shared it 3 times. It's worth the read. So go to ngrradio.com. It should still be on the front page for stuff. If not, you can look under the PlayStation banners and you can find it there, and the PC banners if you're playing on PC. So really good writing. We need to get Jesse on one of these shows at some point. So
yes.
Anyways, check out the family of shows. Every day there's a new show going up somewhere. I'm excited because Matt is working on getting Matt and the B Flats on to NGR Radio as a partner show. So I'm excited. Cool. I'm excited. And show that I really kind of want to shout out to real quick too before we get going. Nerd Noise Radio. It's something
Yes.
I brought up on earlier shows this week. We talked a little bit about it on World War One and Arsenal X, but that show's obviously going up tomorrow if you're listening to this when this show comes out. But Nerd Noise Radio, John Wedgeworth, he's a cool dude. I've been chatting back and forth with. If you like video game music, or just music and media in general, just check that out. It's really cool. There's a couple channels you can find there. But yeah, it's cool. I do want to give him a shout out, and I'll probably give him a shout out on our Facebook page as well. So like, subscribe, and share. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff. Remember to email your questions at nintendopowblock@gmail.com for our listener pow block question block extravaganza. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Mamma mia!
Ah!